Hey guys, today I will be answering a question I got in the comments. This is not about explaining something that's already in the game, but more like adding a feature that I talked about in the lives, I think. So anyway, the feature is how to add secondary effects to moves or attacks so that you have other behaviors than just dealing damages. So that's what we will be doing in today's episode. First, it will come in the form of changing the model for the move database, the move model. We will need to add a new line, basically, that will refer to the secondary effect that will occur. I think that this could come in the form of a new table in the database if we have a lot of effects, complicated things. But first, it's probably okay to start by using just an enum because, to be fair and honest, I don't have much ideas of what kind of secondary effects we can do. All right, so let's start by updating this database. We do have, let's see, databases move. So we need to change the model actually. Database models and attack. So here we have the base model of a move. So obviously we need to add a new line which is going to be dedicated for secondary move effects. Well, okay, I'm sick, my brain is already failing me. So here, let's have this named effect maybe, and that's gonna be type based on an enum. So at the moment, I will leave this an int 0. So let's create the enum, which is gonna be effects, and I think we need to. There's probably no equal. Yep. So let's have the first effect, which is none, equal to 0. Then, for example, we talked about poison effect. So that's going to be 1. And the secondary effect we could have is, let's have Increase Exp. Okay, so we have 3 effects now. So by default, we want this to be typed effects, and there's a problem. Yep. So we can use integers usually. Can I do this? No, absolutely not. It's gonna be like this. Right. So that's gonna be the default value for an effect. So let's see, ID name type coef effect, which is gonna be types effects, equal to effects dot none. All right. We can now update the method by saying that effect must be equal to underscore effect. And there we have the new definition of our object. So now it's all a matter of updating the database to include this new thing. So let's see the moves database attacks. So by default, it should be absolutely fine if we change nothing, because the effects that we added have a system of, if I don't specify anything, I will have default effect to none. So that's cool. There's maybe something we can add now that I think about it, and it is the effect probability. So let's go back actually to the model of attack so we can add variables effect probability. That's going to be an int with a base of 0, like this, and underscore effect probability int equal to, let's have a base actually of 10%, like this. It's gonna be better, I think. So let's space this effect probability equal to underscore effect probability. Let's go back to the database of attacks now and see what kind of moves we can actually choose. So we have acid, poison sting. Let's decrease the damages of poison sting and give it an effect, which is going to be attack. What is the, or is it model db attack dot effects dot poison, and we want a probability of, let's say, 100% actually. Here, let's just settle with this one so we can try this feature before adding too many things at once. Now, the move has an effect, poison, and a probability. So what is important is finding a way to apply the effect to the Y Pokemon when the move is used. So let's go in our main view right there and find the combat system, because the combat here is basically using moves. So here we apply the damages from moves, okay? And that comes as a reaction to on move used. Okay. So here we apply the damages from the move when the move is used. And I guess, yeah, we calculate the damages right there. So what we're going to do is create a new method, which is try to apply secondary effects. So if db attacks dot dictionary of key as db attack, so we have the attack here. If this dot effect is different than db attack dot effects dot none, we want to apply the effect basically. So we're going to create a new method which is going to be apply secondary effect, and we're going to give the key like this. So let's create this method right away. Apply secondary effects with the key being in string, and it's going to be void. So first, what we want to check is if the effect is applied or not. So we will grab the effect probability Right, so here is a simple roll check. If we have something, if we have a probability inferior to 100%, we make a roll, and we make sure that the roll is between 1 and the effect probability. The reason why we want to check this effect being inferior to 100 is that if the effect is 100 or more, we skip the roll to ensure that the effect is going to be applied anyway. So from there, what we will do is we will apply a list of effects to the opposing Pokemon, right? So here we should have the opposing Pokemon somewhere. And we will add base HP, experience, current Pokemon ID. We will add a variable which is effects. It's going to be an array of DB attack dot effects. Are you okay with that? Seems like it. And that will be a base array, empty array. So that's going to be the list of effects reflecting Pokemon. So back to the combat thing, we want to add the effect to the list basically. But we don't want the effect to be added if it already exists. So we will make a simple check, which is if we have master.effects, and here we want to check that do we have has? Yes. And we'll go with the effect. Maybe we want to store the effects in a variable. So here it's going to be db attack dot effect. Okay, that's going to be equal to db attacks dot dict key as db attack. We will add a effect property to it, and there we go. So we did take the effect out of it. So if master effect has effects like this, we basically want to return because the effect is already in the list. Let me just check that this is working as intended. So we have the has returns value representing the array, and it's no, not ash. Oh, has. Returns true if the array contains the given value. Okay, interesting. So it should work. Very fine. In fact, we can make this check before we can make it here. Because if the effect is already in the list, then we can skip on calculating the probability. So we're saving a little bit of calculation. All right, so we know that the effect is not in the list and that we succeeded in applying it. So we're just going to go with master.effects dot append. And here we want to add effects. Okay, so something I thought about when I was sipping on my tea is that here we basically want to have the effect. Where do we apply the effect? There. We want to apply this before applying the damages. Because if we really look into it, here we handle the defeat of the Pokemon while we calculate the damages. So we don't want the Pokemon to be defeated and then to apply the effects, especially if we have increase XP effects, right? So we just want to take this line, whoops, take this line and have it applied after the effect, right? Now, let's think about the opposite of what we did, because we applied the effects. So we want, when the Pokemon is defeated, to reset the effects. So I think that will come in the form of changing the Pokemon generation right there. So somewhere when we change everything. Okay, so making this line was very chaotic, so just to say it again and probably erase whatever I did before I said. Here we are adding a line to reset the list of effects when we generate a new Pokemon, right? That's the opposite of generating effects. We need to clear, to flush. Okay. So, in a combat here, we now want to deal with the effects. Okay? Just to make sure, because we created two effects. Well, I will add the next one later. Let's deal with poison at the moment. So here, we have the damages from the move. Okay. I will make a simple check. Okay, so that's, well, damages from the move. Huh. Maybe I should change this to be apply. I will create a new method, which is going to be apply damages. Okay, let's do this. Function apply damages. And I will need the key of the move. But that's going to be move key. Like this. So when we do that, we want to begin by apply damages from move with the move key. And we're not going to go with apply, but get damages from move. Get damages from move. So here we're going to have move damage, which is an int, and that's going to be equal to get damages from move. And here we're going to return an int, which is going to be just, actually just this. Okay. So we just return this, return move damage. And everything that comes after this will go. So actually we can return this. And everything that comes after it is going to be total damage. So here we will have damage. So we need to create a variable damage. Which is an int equal to 0. And instead of having a move damage like this, I will just increase damage plus equal this. Okay. Here at the end, we need to apply damages and we need to transfer the key. Okay. We're progressing. I'm sorry if this is kind of wacky, but I'm doing my best here. So, now that we have the damages from the move, we want to increase damages if, for example, the opponent is poisoned. So we're going to check for status effects, basically. So we're going to make a simple check, which is if master.effects.size is superior or equal to 1. We will try to find damaging effects. Okay, so for, let's name this effect, which is dbattack.effects. In master.effects, we will loop, and then we probably want to match something. So we will have a match, which is going to be effect, and when effect is equal to dbattack.effects.poison, we want to apply a specific method. That method that we need to create is going to be apply poison damage, like this. And we don't have this method yet, obviously. So let's have this function apply poison damage. And how we're going to calculate this actually is going to be, it's going to be get poison damage, and we'll have damage plus equal get poison damage. That makes a little bit more sense. So here, get poison damage is going to be returning an int, and we will do something very simple, like return master dot, I think it is base HP multiplied by 0.1, and I will int this thing. In fact, I don't necessarily need to create a method for that. It's just one line. Let's have this. If the DB effect is poisoned, we'll have damage master dot base HP multiplied by 0.1, so it's 10%, right? And we add this. And let's have a little print, which is going to be added damage from poison. Here, percent is going to be equal to int master dot base HP multiplied by 0.1. Okay, so now we will have a little print that says that we added poison damage. We don't want to check here for increase XP, sorry, because basically we do want this to be when the Pokemon is defeated. We want to check when the Pokemon is defeated is if it has the effect increased XP. Oh, okay, let me change the light. Alright. I think we're done with the poison here, so maybe we can try and test if the poison works. So let's get rid of all our Pokemons and get a Weedle with Poison Sting. Okay, so I think we did. Do we have... Okay, we apply 92 damage from poison. Let's go somewhere else. Like the Dragon Lake. We should have bigger damages. Yeah, 250. That makes very much sense. That's 10%. Okay, so the damages from poison work. Let's get rid of this little check here. And now let's have the next effect generated. So I want the next effect to be on the attack Jackpot. So on Jackpot here, I'm gonna decrease damages to 1 for 1. Have the effect to be db attacks dot effects dot increase XP, and I want the probability to 100. Okay, so we will be able to test that with Meows, if I remember the name correctly. So here we want to go in combat again, but we want to go in on defeated, on Pokemon defeated. So here we calculate the experience. Okay. So what we're going to do is create a, do we want to, let's create a method which is going to be calculate experience. Okay. So what do? We make a check. So if master.effects dot has db attack dot effects dot increase XP. If master has this, then we want to increase the experience, but we don't know the experience yet. So let's have experience being an int equal to master.base experience. If we do have the increased XP, we want experience to be plus equal experience multiplied by 0.25, and that's going to be rounded as an int, like this. Okay. And if this happens, we want to take this line and change this to calculate experience, like this. And here we want to increase the experience there. So let's have a little print, which is going to be experience increased by, and we're going to have experience. Oh, it's wrong. It's going to be wrong. Let me see. I must do this for the check, but basically var experience bonus, which is going to be an int equal to this little line. And here we will have plus equal experience bonus. And I need this because I want the experience bonus to be right there. Okay. Well, let's see. I think we can try this very quickly by taking Meowth in the team. There we go. And we go Jackpot. And we should have experience increased by 500. Okay. So I can get rid of this line. Well, actually. Yeah, like this. Okay. Okay. Well, I think we're done. I think we're done. We made a few secondary effects. We can make different kind of effects. Maybe something that actually buff the team. What could be more interesting, right? Some effects which increase the damages for a few turns, that kind of things. Basically, what's important is how we're gonna fit the effects in the calculations so that it makes sense. Hope you like this episode, especially the person who asked the question. And yeah, that wasn't expected, but I didn't plan to make Pokéclicker so quickly, but there we go. Thank you for watching this video to the end, and I will see you in the new one, hopefully less thick. See ya.